And you know, before today's program started, we had a little short conversation, and we're saying one of the extreme challenges for many of you is that you're new employees. You weren't there when the software was first installed and people were trained. So there may be all sorts of features. I hope there are a number of features that we're going to talk about today, and you're going to go, wow, I didn't know it could do that. So we're looking to save you time, reduce your hassle factor, and God knows there's enough of that to go around. So let's look at these benefits that are going to reduce your headaches and your TMJ. So we want to be sure everybody is using the ERA and EFT, the auto posting, and the automatic bank deposit. A tremendous, tremendous time saver. Who wants to be sitting there keying in the payments for all those 99213 visit codes? Big waste of time. There are still, of course, some plans that are going to pay you with a paper check. They're not on EFT, and you're going to get a paper EOB. We certainly hope that you're scanning those and then shredding them. You don't want to be crumpling that up and throwing it in the waste paper basket. And I'm so excited that the folks from Bill Flash are on this call today, because patient statements, I am going to tell you, this may not be happening in your office, but me and members of my team see this regularly. People feel short-staffed, somebody's out on maternity leave, yada, da, 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 you know the litany of sorrows, and people get behind, and patient statements aren't sent out, or they're not all sent out, or they're not sent out on time. Well, we've got ways to make this all so much easier for you, and when you get that insurance check on the 2nd of November, you're not going to wait till the 30th or whatever cycle billing may occur. You're going to be able to send that statement immediately using Bill Flash. This will improve your cash flow incredibly. And the status of unpaid claims and pre-certs and prior auths, the expansion of the functionality to do this online today is nothing less than breathtaking, and it kills us when we're in a practice, large and small, and we're seeing people on the phone and fumbling around in an inefficient way. So I hope you use all of those features optimally that I've just reviewed. And another important feature that is available through AltaPoint is the ability to rapidly see if you've been short paid by a carrier. And you can do this by loading in the allowables, your contracted allowables, for your main payers. And just this morning, I had a doctor from Michigan call and say, hey, can you get me the allowables for all the plans in Michigan? Well, this is ridiculous. I am not a Michigan provider, so I cannot possibly get on all of those websites. And to be quite honest with you, when I'm in a client office, I can, and I happen to know for a fact that Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, all the big payers have fee schedules loaded on their website, but you have to be a provider to get to it. So unless you have some special contracting, you can access those, you can load it into your AltaPoint system, and when something comes through, again, instead of posting the 99213 payments by hand, it's going to come in through that ERA, and you then will just have to work those exceptions where they gave you a short pay or they for some reason denied that dash 25 modifier. Okay, so this is the short pay alert, really, really important. And do you get short paid? You bet. We see it all the time. We're also hoping that and this is your job, it is not the job of the AltaPoint developers, to use detailed adjustment codes. So if we go to a practice and the number one reason for an adjustment is what's in the red circle on your screen, we know that there is a problem. You need to have a dash 25 adjustment if you're going to take that. You need to have very specific, well-articulated adjustment reasons loaded into your system. If you look at our website, www.karenzupko.com, if you go under the Resources tab, you click down to Articles, you will see a number of articles we've written for orthopedics and ENT, but you're smart, you'll get the idea. Read those stories that we've done on the importance of adjustment codes and how to make them absolutely specific. We hope that everybody is faxing from their computer. SOP, in case you don't know, is standard operating procedure. And we have all those feet because we have visited countless practices where people are running up and down the hallways to the fax machine. I had one office, a big ENT practice. It was exactly 22 steps round trip between the greeters station and the fax machine. So we don't want to be doing that, or the copier. Boo, boo, boo. So you've got your patient portal pluses, and my job is not to train you on all the nuances of the AltaPoint portal, but you are going to call support. You're going to contact the number that Ty gives you at the end of this presentation for help in getting your portal going. And in the patient portal, as some of you know, patients can request an appointment electronically, so that means they're not hanging on your phones on Monday morning. It offers you an opportunity to pay bills. So if you're not using Bill Flash, you can accept payments through the portal. It allows people to request prescription refills. And again, I've just had to do that, and I've got people saying to me, can you hold? And I'm holding for 5 minutes before somebody comes back. I'd much rather request my prescription refill online. I am a busy person. If we need to get those visit summaries, we had an office that was printing out 3-page visit and summaries for everybody as they were leaving. Ridiculous. First of all, you're paying for all that paper and all that printer ink. No, no, no. You want to give patients that information through your portal. It also affords you a secure way of dealing with patient emails that may include PHI. You should not be receiving or answering those kinds of emails through your regular and hackable Outlook system. So those are some of the benefits of the patient portal, and I do hope that you will look into it. It is a very worthy and time-saving investment. And I did think that this, again, these I've included in your handout so that you don't have to, frantically be taking notes. Accenture, as some of you know, is a major consulting firm on technology. They have done all kinds of research, and today's patients want to be able to do this not only online, but through their phone. So if your website isn't optimized to look through to see on somebody's phone, you need to put that on your list of things to do. And they want to be able to receive digital reminders. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to minimize your no-show rate. We regard no-show patients as pickpockets, because if those 2 established patients weren't coming in, you would have immediately gotten in the person who called who wanted to be seen urgently today. Funny, one of my colleagues had a terrible sinus infection, just landed, called her doctor, and she said, I really need to be seen today. The gal at the front desk said, well, that won't be happening. His first available is in 2 weeks. Well, my friend, of course, is friends with her doctor, my colleague, and so she texted the doctor and wound up with a 2 o'clock appointment. Well, I'm quite sure there were probably some people who stood that doctor up, but rather than hoping that it all comes out in the wash, you have the ability to manage that. So majority of patients want to book, change, or cancel appointments through digital channels. You can see this. There are automated ways through the portal to send people a collection note, a little reminder. This very polite note was written, and your AltaPoint intuitive solutions, we can see everybody's billing number, and we can see the batch they were associated with and what those balances are. My goal yesterday in the talk that I did was to help you reduce the size of particularly of those small balances and to get some of the large patients with larger balances, the $480. We'd really like to get those people on a recurring payment plan. So that ends my part for today. And now we traded out Michael Bennett for Michael Smith. And he's going to explain to you all of the fantastic features from Bill Flash. We're getting that changed over.
Pete.
Hey, Mike, we can hear you now and we can see your screen now. Go ahead. Thank you.
Great. And thank you, Karen and Ty, for the opportunity to be here and present with you. I'm really excited to be here and to be able to talk about how Bill Flash can help your offices with the various aspects that Karen has been teaching us about and helping us to be more efficient as we get in and do our daily work to send bills and get those payments to come back in. And it's really great how AltaPoint has taken some of these features and really integrated it into AltaPoint to make it more of a seamless experience in getting this work done. I think that for us, the reason why we are providing these services is to simply make it easier to send those bills, and the whole purpose of that has always been to get the payment back in as quickly as possible. So we have two solutions which help to send the bill. One of which is where you create the file out of AltaPoint and you set it up to our system where you have full control over and you're able to see exactly what's going out. You actually have inline controls to add messaging, to make some edits. You even have easy controls to make some changes to the color of the statement if you wanted to. Altogether, you have that control, you approve it, but we then print and send those bills out for you, so you don't waste the time and materials and resources to do that work in your office. And just a note there, we don't have people that are doing that work of printing and folding and stuffing. We actually have machines processing millions of bills that are going out. So we want to help you to leverage those really enterprise level processing systems at a price that's very cost effective for you. So that's the mail service. eBill, we really use that same process where you are uploading and reviewing and approving the file to go out, but for those that we have an email address, we can actually send a notification to that email address letting them know that they have a bill available online. So they get the notification, they click on a link, which then takes them to a secure place where they can see the full details of that bill. eBill lowers the cost to send the bills out because we get rid of the postage cost, and it actually increases the response time, because rather than having to wait for the delays due to mail carry, the post office, it takes however many days it does to arrive at the office. With eBill, it's getting sent out that same day, providing that opportunity to get that payment in really short order. And that really leads us to ePay. ePay is allowing the opportunity for that patient to not only have viewed their bill, but also to pay their bill right in that same location. So they're looking at their bill, and there's a button right there that says pay, and it's a quick screen that they can go through to enter in credit card information or check information, submit, and then they're all done. And I don't know about everybody for sure, but I know that as I've asked various medical offices this question, almost 100% of the time, this is the answer I get. Now the question is, well, how do you pay your bills? How do you prefer to pay your bills? And almost everybody, myself included, well, I do it all online. I take care of it online. That's how I want to do it. Your patients are not any different. They want to be able to take care of payments online and make it faster for them. As Karen described, she's busy. We're all really busy, and it's easier to take care of these things online in our busy lives. The Office Pay solution is the service for allowing traditional payments to be processed, either because somebody walked in and they need to pay a bill, or they called in on the phone, or they mailed in a payment. It's that traditional merchant service, but you're really leveraging everything all in one place, rather than having to use a standalone card processing service. Really, we can eliminate that in the office and save some dollars because of the way that we have our merchant services configured. So just going into a little bit more detail, the reason why I start with Office Pay is because oftentimes that's the opportunity for that first payment to happen. Somebody comes in for the visit, and you have the opportunity to have leveraged the other services that you get from some of the other vendors and through AltaPoint, where you've gone through and checked the eligibility, and you can see the amount that the patient is going to be due. You can let them know right at that moment, here's the amount that you owe. Do you want to take care of that on with a credit card or check, and process that information right there. Our system can process credit cards, checks. For the in-person credit cards, we use a USB-based card reading system, so it plugs right into your computers, really turning your computer into the terminal. We also have a place that allows you to add messaging, either internally for your internal staff related to a payment, or there's a spot to put a message that allows the patient to see that message should they go online to see those payments at the site. It's called myproviderlink.com.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me? This is Karen.
Yeah.
Okay. I want everybody to take note of this feature, because if you could lose that phone line that you're currently using to process your credit cards, I want you to go on your phone bill and see what a savings that would represent. It is significant, significant. And it also allows people at multiple stations, when you use this feature, at check-in to take a co-payment, or with a credit card, or at checkout. So Mike, this is really a great opportunity for people.
I appreciate the added insert there. That's definitely something that we hear a lot, is that offices that are using on this standalone terminal, they're using up a phone line, or they're trying to compete with their fax line. And if you can eliminate that, there is some real savings there to your office. So thank you for that, Karen. So I go now to mail, just because you had the visit, you got the payment, you get the information, you go through all the amazing features that are available as far as getting that payment from the insurance company back in. Now you've got your remaining amount that needs to be billed out. Mail service and e-bill, I could really present these simultaneously. but I want to highlight a few things on mail. So we use the NCOA address updating service to make sure that you're sending bills to the right location. Our report shows you both the old address and the new address so that you can update your system. But because we have already processed, we've already sent that mail to that new address, you're still, all you need to do at that point is to update the information in AltaPoint. But rest assured that bill has now gone to that new address, as opposed to in some bulk mailing services, that piece of mail probably would have been returned to your office. In our scenario, we've already sent it on to the correct address, and you get a report showing you the new address for future bills. Our bills include a nice, easy-to-read statement, payment coupon on the top, and a return envelope, making it really easy to return it. And then we've got the reports that help you to make sure that you've got complete addresses in your system. When you approve a bill to go out, the mail goes out by the next business day, and we can get the mail to any location across the country with really quick times, because we use centralized printing facilities. So e-bill, we talked about a lot of this already. Tremendous cost savings. I think that, you know, as we look at the model of post office delivery, I think that the time frame for that over the long term is going to continue to reduce, as it has been. Less and less people are using traditional mail to send things out, which is only creating the problem for them, where it's just further increasing the cost to send. For us to send mail, the cost of postage just keeps going up and up and up. So using and having a strategy to have your patients receive an e-bill notification about their bill is very important. You really want to have a plan to really tell your patients that this is how you want to deliver bills. You want it to be through e-bill so that they can get notified faster, and they get the benefit of being able to respond to that in a quicker fashion. Does everybody want to do that at this moment? No. Some people still do want to get that traditional mail. So that's why we still have both options available. But note that it's significant savings for your office. It almost represents 61% reduction in cost just by switching to e-bill. The notice goes out letting them know that they have a bill available online, and then they go to myproviderlink.com where they can see that bill, as well as they can see the history of those bills once they create their account at myproviderlink.com.
Mike, this is Karen again. And if I, have some older patients who, say, aren't online, I can use a mix of e-bill and regular mail. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So if you're doing, let's say, part of your batch, so you've got a batch that's going up, and there's 50 bills, 100 bills, however many it is. Some can go out by mail, and some can go out through e-bill. It doesn't complicate the process for the billing office at all. It's just really, there's a list showing, okay, these are the accounts that are going to get an e-bill, and these are the accounts that are going to go out by mail. Does that answer the question, Karen? All right,
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I just want everybody to understand it's not an either or. I can mix and match.
Well, and let me add one more to that. We do have the option, if you're doing mail, that we'll send the e-bill for free. So
oh, wow.
Another way to kind of step and kind of move people into the world of receiving an e-bill. So, and then they can opt in for receiving an e-bill only. So that's another solution to kind of help get people to phase into using e-bill.
Great, thank you.
So the fourth service that we're highlighting here is ePay. This is where patients are able to go in online and view and pay their bill. I I think that as we talk with clients about this service, and as I mentioned in the overview, this is really expected. Patients and all of us are paying our bills online, and so having this available to patients, I think it's expected from patients anymore. They want it. This is how they do most of their payments. And the way that we've implemented this service, it makes it really, really easy to get started for your offices. We actually have a website called myproviderlink.com. I'll highlight it here, myproviderlink.com, where offices can easily go in and, or I'm sorry, patients can easily go in. They can see the basic information. They can simply do a one-time payment, or they can create an account, fill it in, create their account, and then they can see the history, and they can they can manage their account where they can set preferences and so forth. But again, it's all about getting that payment process. So it's a really simple screen to allow them to take care of those payments.
Hey, Mike, this is Ty. We have a question from the audience. The question is how are or is the e-bill and mail statements sent separately? I don't know if you want to touch upon that. I can kind of answer from the AltaPoint side. I know from AltaPoint on the patient file, you'll store the patient's email address, and obviously you'll have the patient's mail to address. And naturally, if there's a patient balance due and you're ready to generate your batch or your statement batch, if you will, AltaPoint takes care of handing the file off, if you will. So AltaPoint kind of generates this file or this information packet that has the data in it of your patients that have a balance and their contact information, and that kind of gets handed off to BillFlash. And so I guess, Mike, if you can answer from the BillFlash side, once you get that packet of information from AltaPoint, what do you do from there? How do you know to e-bill versus mail it, or both, or all the above?
Great, I appreciate the question. So yes, when we're receiving that email address from AltaPoint, based on each of those records, we populate that email address in the system. So periodically, potentially within each batch, you would just go in here. We keep track of my payers, not to be confused with insurance payers. This is patients related to BillFlash, but my payers, this is the patients that you are billing. You can go in here and edit, which then allows you to go in and sort by anybody who you have email addresses, and you can simply switch them to the service that you want to send them out, either the both or the e-bill option if there's an email address there. So when you go, and that stores it, so any subsequent time that you do a bill for them, it will already remember that. So when you go into the approval process, some will be noted as the method is e-bill, some would be noted as both, some would be noted as mail, but overall you're just reviewing and approving that file to be delivered. Now that's the way that I would recommend that your offices kind of approach e-bill, because you get the most instant cost savings by doing that approach. There is another approach though. You can do the more soft approach in allowing your patients to self-identify as wanting e-bill, so to speak. So in the My Provider Link process, if you're sending a mailed bill but e-bill is activated, you can have a message on there that says, hey, you can go in online and you can opt in to go paperless. So they can go in here, and if they create their account, right here they can say, yes, I want to do e-bills. And that will automatically update BillFlash in their list. It will automatically update this method. So the next time again that you go to send those bills, they would switch over. I hope that answers the question. So ePay, great solution, and I think that as we look at the merchant services altogether for office pay and ePay, we've got great rates, really competitive pricing. We actually build our model based on one of those big box, high quantity stores that we know a lot of doctors and small businesses shop at. We model our plan after them to have a real simplified merchant services pricing plan that's cost effective for you, and it really reduces the cost related to utilizing merchant services. And you can have one merchant service account both for ePay and Office Pay. So you don't have to have one service for the things you're doing in the office and one for something you're doing online. It can all be one package. Our customers who have started using Bill Flash often tell us, wow, we can't believe that we haven't been using this. We wish we would have started this years ago. And we hear that all the time. And so I hope that as you follow up with Ty and his team, and if there's questions for us, that you really give this a chance. And I know Ty, I don't know if he's going to bring it up here. If you want to, Ty, that's great. There's a special promotion that we're offering to help offices get started with these solutions.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I got two questions. Actually, three. Another one just popped up, but there's an easy one here. And when you're ready for the next one, just say next, and I'll give you the next one. This one says, how are the returned emails handled within Bill Flash? How do we know that it was a returned email?
Okay, so we're saying a bad email address, I think.
Yeah.
So basically, within our system, you define where that email is coming from. So info at doctorsoffice.com, whatever it is. So the bounce back emails will go back to that general email address that you define.
Okay. The other question here is that I'm a billing service and I bill for multiple providers. How do I set up my Bill Flash account? How does that work for each individual provider office?
Oh, I love that question too. We billing services it's really it's one of our focuses of our service, I have to say. So we've really known that billing services really benefit from our services. So we've always really tried hard to cater to, in a way, the needs of a billing service office. And it really starts right from here in terms of sub-accounts. So when billing services are using Bill Flash, for each practice you're billing for, we create a sub-account, which allows us to basically have services allowed to be added at a sub-account level. So some accounts, maybe they just want to do the mail service, and that's fine. But some, maybe they want to use all the services. So we can do it at that sub-account level, no matter how many different offices you have. As well, the templates that we have, they're also set up at that sub-account level. So you can have customization that is appropriate for each of those customers that you're servicing.
The last,
Next.
the last question that I got so far is basically, how do we get a recording of this webinar? Another person said, I'd like to get a recording because there are other people in my office that are covering for me while I'm watching. I've asked Lauren, our marketing coordinator here, to have yesterday's webinar. If you've missed that and today's webinar, they'll both be on the AltaPoint website by Monday. So we'll get that public. She'll get it over to Jarrell, who's our web development team, and get that posted by Monday. There's no other questions here. Mike, did you have anything else? Otherwise, we'll go to a wrap up.
Do you want to introduce the promotion, or would you be doing that at a later time? Or
no, we're gonna talk about that now. Why don't you go ahead and introduce it? Because as a matter of fact, it's something that we're passing through on your behalf. We're all doing for the customer.
Well, let me just pull up one screenshot here real quick. Let me get to it, Ty, and
while you're doing that, there's a question that just came up, which is basically, most of our practice is Medicaid based. A lot of our patients don't have email addresses. in this case, what do we do about e-billing and e-pay? Well, you want to have a bag of solutions, technology solutions for your office. I mean, the Bill Flash integration with AltaPoint is one tool for you to use for that percentage of practice or for that part of your practice of those patients who have an email address. You'll send an e-pay. If they don't have an email address, then AltaPoint and Bill Flash will drop that statement to paper. So you're generally trying to have as many tools available to accomplish your goals and to satisfy your interests. Another thing that's coming out, I'll give everybody a little bit of information of that's going on behind the curtain here at AltaPoint. Next month, we're going to be starting as part of our training series. We're going to be walking our users through how to do, and Karen touched upon this today, how to remind your patients about missed appointments and their balances via a phone call and a text message where it's HIPAA compliant. So that's where AltaPoint is actually integrated with a telecommunication provider, and that is going to be, it's actually already there. If anybody's interested in that now, they can contact us. Otherwise, next month's learning series is going to be around the idea of using your AltaPoint system, setting it up in a way to contact your patients by phone and email. So today we're talking about communicating with your patient, using the technology to communicate with your patient about their balances via email, sending their statements in the mail or via email. And then next month we're going to be talking about how to communicate with them via text message and via phone calls. Mike, I see your slides up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to say drum roll, but you've already been looking at it. Basically, to help you to really, one of the things that I've heard, I've been working with Bill Flash and in the industry for many years, but specifically with Bill Flash for about the last 5 years. And one of the things that I hear often is, yep, we've thought about this, we just, not sure about making the switch. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to give this a try and really prove that this can work for your office. And so we're offering services for free for 60 days. Now, you pay the cost of the mail, but aside from that, all of the other services would be free for 60 days, and that's if you get enrolled by the end of this year. So I hope you take advantage of that, get all the benefits stated, give it a try. We know, and our customers tell us that this is a great service that helps to speed up the process to get that patient payment back in. Thank you, Ty.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much, Karen. If anybody has any questions about any of the above, any of the topics that were discussed today, please feel free to contact Karen even directly. If you think your practice may need some help and some guidance that Karen can offer, you saw her contact information, her phone number, and her website, KarenZupkoAssociates.com. You also have Bill Flash. Feel free to contact Mike or contact us here at AltaPoint. Our intention is really to provide our user base with as much information as possible to help their practices be as successful in practice as possible in an extremely rapidly changing environment. Thank you guys so much. We look forward to working with you. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.